Good evening, you beautiful, positive people. Welcome to TCB Studios and welcome to Burn It Down. Monday, October 31st, 2022, for a very, very special Halloween edition of Burn It Down. I'd like to thank today's sponsors, Kelly's Death Pickles and Pabst Blue Ribbon. Today's guests are very, very special friends of mine, Mr. Nathen Maxwell and his wife, Shelby Maxwell, from the beautiful band Volores. I need to jump right in because we have so much ground to cover. So please give them a round of applause. Volores.
Hey,
Hi, you beautiful people. How you doing? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, our favorite holiday.
Absolutely.
We have so much in common. We have so much in common. It's my favorite holiday too. They should let it be like every 60 days. We should be able to do this. I mean, or more than that.
I like it. I want to bring my creepy, weird side out more often without
Dressing up, candy, jack-o'-lanterns, I'll take it all.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, all the fun stuff. Gothic, storytelling, everything. You guys look wonderful.
So do you.
It's been too long since we've seen each other in person. And we were talking backstage in our virtual green room. And I love explaining this and talking to this with the guests. And I say, well, the last thing we want this to feel like is just an everyday podcast or interview. I much rather it be friends who care for each other, this camaraderie, this brotherhood, this sisterhood, who were fans of each other and peers of each other and love each other. And it's just great conversation. So I just want the world to know that I got these awesome, cool, beautiful, lovely, talented friends. And today the guest is Volores.
Oh, man. What's the last time we were together? Was that when you sang the ship song for us?
Oh, my goodness. I was telling Renee about that. Again, thank you, Renee, in the driver's seat. Appreciate everything you do. A couple of really beautiful things. So Nathen, I've known so long, and I'm so grateful for our friendship. And then he met Shelby, and then I met Shelby, and I fell in love with her too. Amazing woman, amazing human. Shelby, behind Nathen's back, got in touch with me and Brian Kinchlow, and I flew out and surprised him at his birthday party. Really funny story. I'm jumping in a cab from Brooklyn, and I had a couple of Brian's guitars, and I guess he was flying into Denver from Atlanta. Anyway, we meet at the airport and we jump in an Uber to go to meet you guys. And Nathen has no idea about this, that we're singing at your birthday party. And the Goose Down Tavern, which is right near the Bluebird Theater. So anyway, the car goes, where you going? I go, you know where the Bluebird Theater is? The lady goes, you're playing the Bluebird Theater? I go, no, I'm playing the little bar across the street.
Well, but then
the best thing is a year later, I did play there and sang at your wedding.
You played at our wedding, and that was at the Bluebird, so it was perfect.
How lovely is that? And funny enough, because the Cave Ship song is a very special song to me as well. And I hear a lot of that in Volores. I was explaining this to a few friends earlier because I've been sharing the single with friends, and there's this Gothic, American Gothic to it, even a Southern Gothic to it in some ways. Some of it reminds me of some Bad Seeds, but then also there's this mid-tempo soulful energy to it, and this sad storytelling to it. And we were talking about that backstage. I love hearing how people get inspired by this stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, you started off strong by, saying you heard some Nick Cave. I mean, he's a major inspiration for us. We have such a crazy eclectic taste in music, and I feel like every artist could or would say that, but I mean, if it's not some type of post-punk, it's punk, it's outlaw country, it's reggae, it's pop, it's literally everything in our house at any given moment. So a lot of our influence does come from bands like The Cure, Interpol, Nick Cave, Elliott Smith, Sharon Van Etten, lots of artists who have that
Santa Gold,
dark, like
Joy Division.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I've been on a cruise ship a couple times with Nathan at 5 a.m, the sun blasting on us and us blasting Santa Gold. It's wonderful.
Yeah, well, actually, you know, Tommy, you're the one that turned me on to Santa Gold.
Oh my goodness. See,
really we were on
gang,
and you came and you put us up in your house in one of your spots in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to hang out on your rooftop. I remember that. It was beautiful.
Oh my goodness!
That night, you said, "Hey, I got this artist. I'm in love with her." You played us the Disparate Youth video.
Disparate Youth, yes.
And became a fan immediately.
She is so amazing. And when you find out about artists, and that's the other great thing of friends, we turn each other on to things. You hear something good you want to share with someone, you know. When I got turned on to her, I was like, man, this guitar almost sounds like something that would have been if you grew up in like Washington, D.C., like there's this Discord angular guitar to it, like it's just someone in Fugazi playing in this. And then sure enough, I'm talking to a friend of mine. He goes, well, funny enough, she lives in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, but for a minute in her early teenage years, she grew up in Philly, was hanging out in the punk scene, and she hung out with the guys in Bad Brains. I go, okay, now everything is making sense.
Right.
Yep. Yes.
Oh, I love every band you said. I absolutely love, because I know when I've done interviews and people have asked me about influences of mine, I'll say Tom Waits. Well, I always say I've been ripping off Tom Waits and Joe Strummer forever, but I mentioned Leonard Cohen, Nick Cave, but up there just as high, I say Martin Gore from Depeche Mode and Robert Smith from The Cure.
Nice.
Just unbelievable storytelling. And that's kind of where I was getting with this new song, because I love this, because it's like there's elements of sadness, but then there's always these hints of hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have that a lot in a lot of our music. I feel like, you know, Nathan and I so naturally gravitate towards the macabre and kind of the goth nature of life.
I also think that we genuinely need hope ourselves. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
and so we also gravitate towards that. We gravitate towards that message because, you know, if you're not hearing it from other people, the best thing you can do is sing it to yourself, right? So
true.
Being your own advocate, your own mental health hero. And so these songs,
goodness,
they're like affirmations in a way.
Yeah.
You know, when I listen to them to like carry on, it's
I love it.
Not a joke. It's very real to me.
I absolutely love it, and I love the because I love you guys so much, and I love your story, because there's enough sadness, and we all as artists already we're naturally pretty insecure. I know I am, and I love love. I love love. It's the best thing ever. But I mean, still, there's been times, you know, that I've called you, Nate, when I wasn't doing too good, you know, and so you're my heroes because I love your love. You know what I mean? And I mean, I remember when you came and hung out with me in Philly, you know, and I was like, "How's this going?" And you're like, "Oh man, that's my queen," you know, and it's like the best thing ever, you know. I mean, we went out, you know. I think, you know, we went out to dinner. Next thing you know, we're having some Jamesons, and every 5 minutes he's talking about his queen. You know, it's the best thing ever.
And what's really cute is that's not changed. That's still what he calls me. I get messages from people while he's out on the road, and they'll be like, "Man, it was really cute. Nathan just couldn't stop talking about you," and I've never had someone like just so like worship their wife, and I'm like, thanks, that makes me feel good.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and it's perfect. And the thing is, it's like that's the way it should be. I mean, I know for me, I feel like we're all well, there's works in progress, I guess, as humans, as people, as like I said, we talk about that brotherly connection and sisterly connection within the rock and roll or punk rock community, and it's always the best because everyone has got these big hearts, you know. But it's like All we want to do is get better at this. And then if you find someone that you both of you could be like, listen, actually, we got this, us against the world. Who's better than you?
Well, yeah, especially when you agree on the soundtrack.
That's right. Especially when you go
soundtrack, you know what I mean? And we choose to spend all this. We like to spend lots of time together.
I love it.
We live together. We live together. So we share the soundtrack. We share a common soundtrack, and maybe even a theme song, right? So it's a good thing that we get along and we have the same taste on that.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love that. Yeah, everything's where it's supposed to be. It's like when you. I always think about this when we first started playing music, and basically those first few road trips, you don't know how to put the gear back in the van. It's like playing Tetris. And then after like the 9th show, you know where everything goes. And right now, you know where everything goes. You know, it's just everything is where it's supposed to be. And it just feels like we got this. And it just continue with that. And it's only going to get better.
Absolutely. It fits.
We both it fits. And we both like to stop and smell the roses.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't people appreciate like the good stuff more?
It's the little things. It sounds cheesy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just thankful for not fucking having a broken hand. I can play my bass. I'm so grateful for that, right?
Oh man, I love everything about, and you know, and I still, when I have business meetings, so a couple of things. So in about 7 minutes, we're gonna play the new single, but I have sticky notes. You know the way my brain works, Nathan. Sticky notes everywhere. My assistant's over here yelling at me right now. She goes, "You didn't say what's on A yet, and you didn't say what's on 3 yet." There's sticky notes all over my office. Couple of things. One is, you're talking about these soundtracks. And I know we talk about this. By the way, every band you mentioned, boom, my favorites too. I was just listening to Elliott Smith last night. But we just love music, and I'll be talking to people on these forums. People are like, what's a guilty pleasure to you? I go, it shouldn't be a guilty pleasure. Let me tell you, in TCB Studios, every Friday we dance to Gwen Stefani, No Doubt, and Bruno Mars, and feel no shame, and it's awesome. Like, music is music, and if it makes you feel good, just go for it.
I mean, that's our house with Harry Styles and The Weeknd.
Watermelon Sugar was the jam of our office this year, you know.
Yeah. Oh my God, dancing around the kitchen to As It Was, and Blinding Lights, and it's
Blinding Lights, The Weeknd. So that's that one thing, and that I'm actually getting better at doing these shows and making my yellow sticky notes, and then the sticky notes that I have under my mask, under my eyes, that were insane from. It's like I'm getting better at my segues, because this leads to choosing awesome. And it all started with my friend Darren Sanders, and one day it was so simple, and we were talking about some of these things as well, where some people don't stop and smell the roses, and he goes, I don't get it. He goes, some people, maybe they're just happy being miserable and complaining. And he goes, all I know is 2 things: life could suck or it could be awesome. Don't know about you guys, but I'm going to choose awesome. And I'm like, it's that simple. And Nathen Maxwell, after me, Brian Kinchlow, and Darren Sanders, was the next person to be officially in I Choose Awesome, a proper official member. And so here we are at his wedding, and I was telling Renee this backstage before Volores came on, and basically I go, we had no idea. And in his vows, he looks over and he goes, promise to choose awesome with you every day. Arm hairs, braille, everything went up. And it was like the most beautiful, lovely thing ever. I texted Darren Sanders. He's like in Portugal hanging out with Slipknot. I'm like, Nathen Maxwell just said, I choose awesome in his vows. And he's like, I don't even know where we're at with cursing on the show. So I'm going to be very Christian for the kids on Halloween. But he just writes back, he goes, that effing rules.
PMA all day, brother.
Yes,
oh man, yeah. PMA all day. I choose awesome all day. TCB is now my studios, and I started a business, and it's basically one of my LLCs, and it's like Tom Cheshire Band, Tom Cheshire Business, Tom Cheshire Brand, taking care of business. We doing it all.
Love it.
Love
TCB.
it. That's perfect.
Got that too.
Yeah. So I was going to ask about, because you mentioned Nirvana earlier, and I hear some of that as well in Volores, and it's a strange thing because the age that I was at when they got big, I actually didn't listen to them. So I find myself listening to them more now in my older years later on in life. Like, how did that happen with you guys?
How do we discover Nirvana, or how did we
But like it just seems like, because you mentioned that no, not how do you discover Nirvana. Where were you where were you, Shelby, and what were you wearing a turtleneck? No, but I'm just kidding. I'm like, it's because you mentioned that I think even the Ramones, even because I was thinking of, like, I always go back to like the Raincoats and stuff, and I know that's where they had some influences from. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I grew up, and I am younger than Nate by 13 years. So I grew up, and Nirvana was just already all over the radio. Kurt Cobain passed away, and it was, I mean, they just like elevated to an even higher level. So when I grew up, they were everywhere. I heard them everywhere, and they were probably some of the first, harder rock, like grunge,
Right.
Not pop, not country, based on my family's listening, that I had ever seen before. And so when you're a little kid and you're like, this is different, I like this, and then all of a sudden I'm down a rabbit hole of 50 other bands. I mean, it just kind of, Nirvana feels natural. And if you're gonna, I don't know if there's anybody in my life that I know that like doesn't feel the same about it.
No, I agree completely. Because I hear so many different elements in your approach, Shelby, to songwriting, and it's one of my favorite things too. Like Stephen talking about Santa Gold on a rooftop in Brooklyn. It's like I love the idea that I'm always going to be discovering new music. And how amazing is it that I only started getting really into Nirvana a few years ago, because when they were huge, I was at an age where I was like, I just, it's a strange thing. I read this interview with Tom Waits in like 1999, and he said, anytime 2 million people go out and buy something, I'm skeptical, because there might be, there's a machine behind it, marketing and pushing it. And clearly that's true, and it also could not be true, because if something's amazing, it's amazing, right? But he made a joke because he's Tom Waits, and he's could easily be a comedian. He's funny, and he goes, "It's 1999, and I'm just now discovering the Beatles," But it's this funny thing, because my brother and I just talked about it the other day. I was like, do you remember that this girl had tickets for us to go see? She offered us to go see Nirvana in a small club even before they were big. And he goes, yeah. I go, I'm pissed off we didn't go with her. It's just, but I love the idea that we're always, we can't, there's no room for us to get bored, because we're always going to discover new music, and it's always going to inspire you and me and anyone who wants to create, to come up with new ideas and write new ideas and write new songs.
Yeah. And I think it also, with that aspect, like, we pull influence, like I said earlier, from a million different areas. I feel like Nirvana particularly, we love the simplicity of our sound. We never really felt it necessary to add much in post-production, because we wanted the album to sound like how we sound live.
Right.
Raw and real. And I'm not a virtuoso guitar player. I'm self-taught. I'm more of a songwriter than anything. So, I write all my songs on the acoustic guitar behind me. And then, Nate takes them and molds them into this beautiful work of art that they are. But I still have, very big limitations on the guitar. So I think a part of those limitations were like, well, it's very Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Like,
lean
into the limitations.
Part of when this project was being established, we started where I was playing acoustic guitar and Shelby would sing. And that kind of came because I was doing some solo acoustic performances virtually and at some bars.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it was like, hey, let me play some of your songs, Shelby. Let's, arrange those out on a guitar. So we arranged those. she'd sing, I'd play guitar, and we kind of realized we're like, well, these are really powerful songs, and they could go in, you know, any direction, right? They could become a record, they could become a country record or whatever. So we kind of really like worked on it, like what is our authentic sound?
What if we created a sound? And
right. Well, and you guys did that at your wedding,
right?
And I know now where I was getting at, because it reminded me the way you play Shelby and your songs, and then especially my brother Nate, he's one of my favorite bass players. It reminded me of that B-sides that they did in Incesticide, which songs like Sliver and stuff, which those are my favorite songs of theirs. You know, that they're just there's this simplicity, but just wonderful hooks around it, like just wonderful hooks going around the whole time.
Thank you very much. I tell you, you know how it is, Tom, when you're a lifelong music lover and lifelong professional musician, it turns out now. I mean, I assume it's similar for you because we're such good friends. I've gone through stages in life where, you know, all I really listen to is this or that. And I had almost forgotten there was a crucial stage at the beginning of my musical career. And that was Nirvana. I was such a huge fan when they broke. I remember that a guy who gave my cousin who gave me my very first bass guitar, he was going to see a band called Sonic Youth, who I am.
Love it.
And I'd never heard of the opening band, but my cousin came back from the concert. I'm asking him about Sonic Youth, and he's, of course, they were great. He said, but you got to listen to this. And he put on Bleach by Nirvana.
Beautiful.
I got turned on like right at the beginning, at least as far as I understand. And then Never broke. And it was, for me, it was such a breath of fresh air because I was this young kind of punk kid. My dad's a professional. I didn't really like the LA rock scene, like the Hollywood kind of metal scene. Off by that. So even Guns N' Roses for me, I kind of missed it. It was too metal. So Nirvana came in, you know, because at the time I think The Cure was my favorite band, right? I was you know, they had Kennedys and LL Cool J, and you know,
he had tinfoil windows, and he was a vampire.
And of course, all the reggae I was blessed with all this great reggae. But yeah, when Nirvana came in, man, they just fucking blew the door out of all the bullshit.
It was perfect timing, and your palate is what your palate needed. And by the way, we have so many great and late night conversations about music and similar tastes, which I love that. You know, like, oh yeah, in the morning I chill out. I like listening to 60s and 70s reggae, but by the afternoon, it's going to be Joy Division. You know, I absolutely love it, and I think now would be a good time for maybe us to air the video for the brand new single. Congratulations, Ages. Well, let's go to it.
3 thumbs up.
4 thumbs up.
High fives across the board. Oh my goodness, I think we're coming on right now. Let's see. Here we go.
What's happening?
3, 2, 1. Volores, Ages.
You were just 17, tongue-tied but seen. Spotlight shine on bloodshot eyes of queens. It's how we do these ages. It's how we keep the strangest they say. You always ages. By the age 28, lines glued were taking shape. People change, yet stay same, stay same. how we make it through these ages. It's how we keep the straightest faces through all these ages. Ain't no doubt you've grown. 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 61 comes too fast. Built for love, but not built to last. We can play, yeah, play the game, play the game. It's how we make it through these ages. It's how we keep the straightest faces. It's how we make it through these ages. It's how we keep the straightest faces through all these ages. Through all these ages.
That's what
Oh
we got.
my God. I got chills, and they're multiplying. No, I absolutely love that song, and I think you were you in Connecticut? I forget where I was, but you actually sent me the video a while back, and I knew not to share it with anybody. But you like, look at this, because the song tells such a gorgeous story, and then it's like it's that thing. I mean, and then the video with it. Like, how did all that come about?
So,
The genius, Shelby's genius. Yes.
so I'm like a jack of all trades type of person where like I do a lot of things, like a lot of little bits of things well, like nothing particularly professionally, but like a lot of small things pretty okay. And like our logo's designed by me. I'm on our album cover right now, but one of the things that we were talking about was, you know, we needed a music video for the single. We knew it was going to be Ages. And I had wrote this song about feeling kind of lost at every single point in your life. Like you grow to these new stages of your life, but you always feel like, well, now there's these new things that I have to deal with that I don't quite know how to do. And you always just kind of feel like you're fumbling, but really that's how everybody feels. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is what we had talked about earlier: family, love, music, you know, the people around you, the relationships you build, the love you give out to others. And so I kind of had that in mind. Now, how I was going to create a music video, I had no idea. I thought about doing B-roll footage of our shows, thought about doing a bunch of different things, but I really wanted to come out with a strong message of
Powerful.
You know, the contrast between the dark parts of life and, you know, the joy and hope that we talk about. So believe it or not, I actually made that whole video in a single day using
It's so good.
footage that I had found and managed to create a story that I thought really went along well with the content of the song.
I cried when I watched it for the first
Yes, well, so
It wasn't even finished, and I hadn't got to quite to the end yet, and like I had the last I kid you not 30 seconds to go, and I was like, I spent all day, and I looked at him, and I'm like, can you just watch this? Because if I spent all day and I'm not going in the right direction, let me know. And we get to the first chorus, and he's already just cheers. And I'm like, okay, I nailed it. We're good.
That's how you know. I mean, that's one of the best litmus tests for me.
Yeah.
If something is good, like when I'm writing a song, usually like tears will be involved, and that might sound weird to some people, but
Not at all.
That's like if tears are involved, it's not like even like sadness or joy. It's almost like it's like a profound tear, you know, or this
Right.
all kinds of emotion. It can be sadness, it can be joy, it can be
Totally.
deep darkness or something.
Yeah.
You know what it is, but it's usually a signal that you're onto something, right? You have a vein that has power. Right.
Yeah, you're hitting those nerves you're supposed to hit. I'm a man who cries sometimes twice a day. We've certainly cried together, and it's awesome. And then usually we're laughing later. But one of my favorite things about music and a song is like, well, we don't have enough time. We could talk all day. There's 100 things I could say that I love about a song. But one of my favorite things is when I can close my eyes and it feels like this warm thing of maybe, you know, your lover just putting a finger through your hair and you feel like someone's showing paintbrushes painting the story in the sky, you know, and you're seeing the visual of it, and you're certainly doing that in the song. And then you throw the video in there, and then I'm crying by the chorus.
Oh, thank you. Definitely makes me feel good about the video. You know, I wear my emotions and my heart and soul on my sleeve. Anybody who knows me knows that. And so a lot of, you know, this work that we're doing is Nathen and I bearing our souls to the world, and, you know, what we actually feel and experience and live every single day. And it's not always pretty and it's not always perfect, but I don't think we change it or trade it for anything.
As a matter of fact, like, I find that it is healing me. Like, it's, you know, Tom, we could go into this for another time, but I had lost a lot of my plot. I had lost my passion for the music industry. I had lost my passion for a lot of things semi recently, and to have found that again genuinely, and like I can't tell you, it's like it's finding life again. It's finding water. You're dying of thirst. You know, it's like, oh my God, I'm back. I love this. I love loading my bass amp and my bass into the truck and driving to the gig and carrying the shit down the stairs. I'm like, fuck, I'm like a kid again. I'm like, we're buying a van. You know, like my first ever job when I was 15, working at Why Not Burgers. The whole reason I wanted a paycheck was to buy that van so I could take the band on the road, you know?
That's so good. I love it. Yeah, I love when things become like new again and renewed, you know? And we're so lucky that because music saves us, changes us, and rearranges us. And if we allow it, it's going to take us on the best journeys and the best also friendships, like, you know, ours that we have, you know. I mean, you guys just played a release show in Denver on Thursday. Congratulations. What is next? Because, I mean, I guess we just need to, and we're going to share this video on all our platforms and share the video with all our friends and followers and stuff. But like, what else do you have going on?
We have a full-length album already recorded and mastered. So Ages is just the first song of the 12 songs that we have recorded for the LP. So we're going to start releasing singles into the new year. So we should expect a brand new single from us in January. And then at some point in the year, we'll drop the full length. I don't know how many singles we'll decide to release first, but next year, the full-length album will be out. We are looking forward to getting this van. So we did pull the trigger on a van. It's just everything's crazy with trying to get a vehicle. Yeah. But we are ready to work. We're ready to tour, and that's the future. We're looking to get out there and play this music that we love. And
I love it, and it's so scary. And thank you for wearing. Well, thank you, Shelby. I'm such a big fan of yours. But like for wearing your heart on your sleeves and your songs and your life. But my brother Nathen, thank you for wearing your heart on your sleeves and being honest with me and my audience, saying that, because it is scary, and I've been there too. But I'm glad it didn't slip away forever, and you caught this something back, and you got it back. You know. Right.
That's right. The struggle's real. You know?
Oh, it's so real.
I have struggled. I've dipped, recently, and I've come out of it, and it's genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one thing we try to do on this show, and every show I do, and everything everything I'm involved with now, and I know you do as well, is Punk Rock Saves Lives, mental health, PMA, I Choose Awesome, the Joe Strummer Foundation. All of it is just for the same thing. It's community, it's that brotherhood and that sisterhood, and us looking after each other and saying, yo, a bad day is only 24 hours. Tomorrow can be a much better day. It's going to be all right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I had this note that, and I'm so proud that I remember this. So I'm going to ask Nathen to give a shout out to. So Jamie Bennett has a couple of shows with Renée. And she was doing an interview with me, and out of the clear blue, she just says, the best concert I ever went to was Flogging Molly. She goes, they saved my life. I was in the pit. I was having the worst day ever, and it just saved me. And I went like this. This is a joke. They're like my best friends. I was like, are you joking? And she goes, no. It's just out of this clear blue. So Nathen, could you give a shout out to Jamie Bennett and tell her how much you appreciate that?
Jamie Bennett, thank you so much. That genuinely filled my heart with a lot of joy. You don't know sometimes how something like that really could make someone's day. So thank you. Truly, you really made my day. And that is.
And she's a fantastic host and plays jazz guitar and an artist. And also, I've chatted with her, ups and downs and struggles. Not every day is the best day, and we have these depressions, and you throw insecurity and finances and other things in life, and it can really do a number on this brain and heart, But I'm so glad I wrote that down. I was like, man, I'm going to have Nathen give a shout out to Jamie Bennett. One other really awesome thing is I opened up as Tom Cheshire solo. I mean, I've played with you guys so many times, and thank you so much for that. And shout out to everyone else in Flogging Molly. Family, brotherhood since I think 1998 or 1999, from the bottom of my heart. But I opened up for you guys in New York in 2012 at Roseland Ballroom, and I texted my mom and I go, I'm playing Roseland Ballroom. She goes, me and your father used to go Cuban dancing there in the 70s. I mean, it was a club, and a live 20-piece band with Tito Puente playing. It's brilliant. So they destroyed the Roseland Ballroom. I need to let you know that you and Flogging Molly played the last rock show there, because the next two nights were Lady Gaga, and then the third day they demolished that building and turned it into condos. So me, along with you guys, played the last rock show there at Roseland Ballroom in New York City, and that feels pretty awesome.
It does, and I really genuinely loved that room.
Me too.
Enough to have several great memories there, some really horrible memories, but memories to say the least, in such a classic ballroom.
And then singing karaoke with drag queens at a sushi bar across the street is always awesome.
Yeah, come on, always. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say I just love you both so much as humans and as people and as artists. And I appreciate our friendship so much. And thank you for coming on and sharing it with us. And I love the new song, and I can't wait to hear the other new songs and any new singles you have. Let me know, and we'll push them out there to the world.
Will do.
I have perma smile right now from this whole experience. Thank you, Tom. We love you and we miss you, man. And
we're gonna see each other in person very soon. Everyone, be safe out there. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.